I'm a 33-year-old bride trapped in a sexless marriage with a 36-year-old monster, and I'm fed up. I've never been on Reddit before, but I'm desperate for anonymous help because I can't wait to anyone in real life. I 33 female am seriously thinking about leaving my 36 male husband over our Shrek's life. I have been with my husband for 8 years and married for 2. I was in my early 20s when I met my husband and I had only one other short-term sexual partner prior. I was very inexperienced when it came to everything Shrek's and my husband knew that. Without anything to compare our Shrek's life to and growing up in a religious family where Shrek's was very taboo to talk about, it wasn't something I openly discussed with anyone either. Also, due to how I was raised, I never watched porn and truly just thought Shrek's was a physical act of children. I guess I didn't really understand that it was supposed to be this fun and bonding experience for people. When my husband and I first started having Shrek's, I guess it was okay. We used to make out a lot, which I loved, and I would end up giving him oral. And it was ultimately lead to him being inside of me. For me, Shrek's was extremely uncomfortable and most of the time painful. I didn't feel right. I just thought there was something wrong with me, and I loved him so much that I wanted him to feel good despite how I felt. I didn't know how to ask for what I needed, and even if I did, I wouldn't have known what to ask for. I know that sounds so stupid, but I was really blinded by love. I have struggled with insecurities, depression and anxiety for all my life. My husband is a 10 and I'm a chubby 4 at best, so I always felt like I had to be a perfect girlfriend to keep him. Over the years before we were married, we would get into the fights because I wouldn't want to have Shrek's at times because I knew it would be painful or I just wanted to sleep. He would say things like, "Oh, I'm so terrible for wanting to have Shrek's with my girlfriend," or "It must be so annoying to have a man that wants you." I would feel awful after hearing this and would pretty much just give in and have Shrek's. Sometimes it hurt so bad that I would cry and beg him to stop. Sometimes he did and sometimes he didn't, depending on how close he was to finishing. I started occasionally blacking out during Shrek's and he would have to shake my pretty hard to snap me out of it. It just became our normal. The most we would do in terms of Shrek's for me was after he was done, he would have me touch myself to orgasm. He would end up sitting on his phone and I didn't really know what new doing, so I ended up faking pretty much everything. I did have an occasional orgasm this way by accident, but he has never gave me one. Slightly off topic, and this might sound vain, but he also never says anything complimentary to me. I actually remember the last time he gave me a genuine compliment apart from me asking him things like, "Do I look okay?" or "Do you like my hair color?" I just get yes or no answers. I know life isn't like a movie or TV, but sometimes I wish he could just be nicer. He's also making jokes on my expense about my weight or things with my appearance. I could take them as jokes if he said something sweet to offset it, but that's never happens. Anyway, after we got married I got back into reading. I read my first spicy book and I was completely blown away by the Shrek scenes. Like, I can't even describe what I was feeling because it was like an out-of-body experience. The way the man in the book was talking to the woman and the things he was doing for her without nothing in return, I couldn't understand it. The book was so focused on the woman's pleasure and I was stunned. I finally got the courage to ask him if we could try oral on me and he looked shocked. He said, "I thought you didn't like that," and I replied with, "I wouldn't know, I've never had anyone do it." He was very mad and said he didn't like doing it. I asked if he could pay more enough to me sexually and he said, "We have Shreks all the time." I said, "I'm not enjoying it. It's painful and I'm not having fun." I told him I want more from him. I wanted him to pay enough to me and I wanted to finish every time he got it. He told me if I was so unhappy I could leave. Basically, our Shrek's life is terrible and he doesn't seem to care. I would feel horrible if he didn't feel good, and I don't know why he doesn't feel the same. I'm really torn. I love my husband so much. He is great in so many ways. He takes care of me. He works so hard so we can live a comfortable life. I don't know what to do. Do I throw away almost a decade of being with someone over Shrek's? Am I overreacting? Update. Kinda, I think I'm doing this right. First time ever using Reddit. I did not expect over 100 comments when I checked this today. I just posted this and went to bed thinking I would have a handful of people telling me to suck it up and that I was being dramatic. I have read some of the comments so far and I'm so overwhelmed I can't think straight. I am at work so I can't really sit and read through everything at the moment. I can't begin to process some of the things you all have said. I did just want to clarify the one thing I can wrap my head around right now. I have spoken with my husband about Shrek's being painful before and it was pretty much glossed over, and I was told, yeah, that can happen sometimes. I recently saw a fertility specialist and they were able to run some tests and they basically confirmed I have endometriosis, which can cause pain during Shrek's. The fertility specialist also diagnosed me with vaginismus after a pelvis exam. I tell this to my husband who said, "Well, you want to have kids, right?" So I put it out of my mind. So I didn't think to include it in my original post. I am trying to get through my work day and not cry after reading the first few comments. I have no idea how I am feeling.